Hey everyone. All right. Hey, another incredible high-tech video for everyone. I'm going to help you learn the fretboard. Yeah, I know the lighting sucks, the video sucks, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is that you are going to learn. Okay, here's a really good example. Let's say that hey, is the lighting good? I don't know. I'm trying to get the lighting good. Let me get the lighting good. Let's say that you're at the airport. You just land, this plane lands, and you need to get over to this house over here, and you don't know how. Now, you could look at this map, you could look at the maps, and try all these gay-ass streets trying to get there. But if you had a compass, you could just go in this one direction and then end up at the house. Yeah, it might take you some time, but at least you'd have some guidance. That's the whole point behind what I'm going to teach you. You need a compass. Now, let's say, for example, where is that? Okay, I'm getting my next graphic. This is what you've got for the fretboard. The only way to learn this is to memorize it. You've got to memorize it. But you can't memorize something. What the hell is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. All right, look at that. I mean, you've got to learn. You got to learn anywhere from, like, if you're going to do 7 of these, maybe you got 42, maybe you got 80, 70, 80 of these things. It's crazy. How do you memorize this stuff? You need a compass. You need something so that you can think of it in your head and picture these notes. As long as you can picture them in your brain, in your mind, you can memorize. But if you don't have something, if you don't have the compass to get you there, this is just a bunch of jumbled numbers and letters and sharps and stuff and flats, and it's confusing. And when you look at something like this, what are you going to say? This is what you're going to say. You're going to go, oh my FG, oh my effing God, how in the world? See, pretty neat graphics, huh? Yeah, I spent a lot of time on this. Oh my effing God, how in the world am I supposed to memorize all this crap? Well, that's what this video is about. And I'm going to teach you a way that I am using. I do this every day. This is the way that I am learning the fretboard, and it's totally cool. It's really cool. All right, does that show? Let me check the lighting again. I'm probably not going to get many views, but I've got a feeling that whoever views this thing is really going to get something out of it. I'm getting something out of it. I'm totally getting something out of it. All right, yeah, the lighting's really bad. Okay, sorry. I got these crappy lamps over here. It's probably going to be better when I look at the video, so just screw it. I'm not going to worry about it. All right, so let me tell you a couple things. You've got to know. If you don't know the letters or the chords, you're screwed. You've got to learn the strings. What did I say? The letters of the chords. You've got to learn the letters of your strings. This is the 6th string. This is the one on the top. It's the big fat one, the big fat string. That is called the 6th string. That's an E. The next one, A, D, G, B, E. All right, I know people say you memorize with Eddie, 8, Dynamite, Goodbye, Eddie. Well, I did that, and it really sucks because half the time when I start to think of a string now, I think of that Eddie, 8, Dynamite, Goodbye, Eddie, and I've got to get that out of my head and just remember the string, the letters. Okay, so what else am I going to teach you that's going to help you? Well, everything in the 5th fret, okay, on your guitar you're going to have these little dots, either on the fretboard or on the top. That's for the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, the 9th, and then for the 12th. I think for the 11th they do another one, and then they do 2 for the 12th. All right, well, I'm only worried right now about learning up to like the 7th or 8th fret. I'll get to the others later, but this is mainly just to help you get on the road, and this is how I'm doing it. So everything, as I said, in the 5th fret is a whole letter. It is like a C, a D. I mean, it's the full letters. It's not the sharps or the flats. There are no sharps or flats in the 5th fret. Okay, so that's my second thing that I wanted to tell you. You know this thing. You've got to learn. If you're memorizing this stuff, everything in the 5th is a straight letter, not a flat or a sharp. What else do I want to show you? Something kind of cool. You know, they talk about wholes and halves. And the thing that I noticed is, which you don't really think about, but it's a really cool way to learn, is that when you've got the E and the F, you've got your half, and you've got your B and your C, there is no sharp or flat between the two of those. There's none of those. It's just E. If you have an E, the next letter on the fretboard is an F. An F, the letter before is an E. Same with the B and C. B after B is a C, and before C is a B. Okay, now this is going to make sense in a few seconds. The other cool thing is that I'm just trying to learn the letters now. I'm not trying to learn where the sharps or the flats are, because you can fill that in on your own. So the cool thing is that if you forget about the E and the F, the E and the F and the B and the C, if you know where C is, 2 frets over is D, and 2 frets over is E, okay, let's go over to the F. 2 frets over from F is G. If you know where the G is, 2 frets over is A, and 2 frets over is B. So this is going to help out in a second. It's totally going to help out. The other thing is all your notes on the top, the 6th string, the thick one, the big E. All your notes on that are the exact same thing as on the bottom or the number 1 string. So if you figure out this stuff, think about this. You got 6 strings. If you know this row, then you know this row, which means that you know 33%, you know a third of what you need to learn, which is kind of cool. So let me tell you, I don't want to make this video too long, but what else have I covered? Everything on here, these are all these boxes, these are all the frets, these are all the chords between the 1st and the 9th fret. Now, I don't know if you can see well, but everything in pink is like a full note, not a full note. It's not one of these sharps or flats. So I'm trying to memorize 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 notes on the 1st string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the 2nd. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 or 5 on the 3rd. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 4th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're trying to memorize five chords, 5 notes per string. So you got to memorize 30. Seems like a pain in the ass, but when you're memorizing 30, remember I said if you know what's on here, you know what's on here. So now you're memorizing 25. So this is kind of a cool thing that I noticed. And by doing this, by thinking of the stuff I'm going to tell you, when I'm not looking at this chart, I picture these sayings or these thoughts in my brain at nighttime when I'm laying down or when I'm watching TV, and it's helping me to memorize the notes. All right, this is going to sound kind of stupid, but let's say that you're married. I'm single, but let's say that you're married, and you got a girlfriend, you got a wife, and she likes to talk on the phone all the time. All she does is gab, 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 gab. Doesn't shut up. All right, what do you want to tell this woman to do? You want to say, stop the effing gabbing, right? Effing gabbing. Okay, so let's stick with this. Here's F. Here's the F for the F gab. That's what you want to do, and this is going to make a lot of sense in a second. Check this out. Remember when I said if there's an E, there's always an F after that? Well, you're going to start noticing these patterns. Here's the E, there's an F. But let's get back to the F gab. She gabs all the time. So what do we have here? We have G, A. It's amazing that nobody's come up with this or thought of this, because this is kind of cool. G, A, B. Those are the first 3 chords. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you the first 3 chords, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to start to notice a really cool pattern that nobody ever talks about. So F gab, she gabs, F gab. Well, let's go with the alphabet now. G, A, B. What comes after B? C. What comes after C? D. What comes after D? E. What comes after E? See, you're starting to notice this really neat pattern that you don't even see. I stared at this for hours and I went, whoa, check that out. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. This is incredible. Look at all the notes that we've already figured out. And see the pattern over here? We've got letters. We don't have any sharps or flats. So we've just done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 chords you can picture in your brain just from this F gab. Once you've got F gab, You just do it in alphabetical order. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Now, what else do we have here? What was I talking about before? Let me look at my little note thing over here. Whoops, sorry, my head got in the way. Let me look at my notes over here. What do we have here? We've got something kind of cool. We know that if you know where the C is, that before C is a B. So we figured out another chord. We know that before an F is always an E, because there is no E sharp or F flat, and there's no B sharp or C flat. We know that after an E, there is always an F. And we know that after a B, there is always a C. So look what we just did. We know all, except for the sharps or flats now, we know all the chords on the 6th, 5th, and 4th string. Why hasn't anybody said this? Why? I don't see any videos talking about this. Oh wait, we're not done yet. We know what's on the 6th string. We know what's on the 1st string. The exact same chords. F. We've got the G over here. Look at this. This is absolutely incredible. I'm just an amazing genius. That is right. I am a genius. I figured this out, and nobody else has come up with this. We now have all the chords. You can figure this out just because of this stupid F gab that I came up with that you can think of. You think when you're laying in bed, if you're not with a chick, you think of this F gab, you go, wow, okay, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. How hard is that to remember? So you know most of the chords. This is a very simple thing. You're learning this stuff 3, 5, 7 and 3, 5, 7. So I mean you can go on from there after you know this, but this is a good way to start. All right, what else do we have? We've got the 2nd string, which is a B. What comes after a B? Well, pretty easy. We know that after B is always a C, right? So these last 2 strings, you know, the 2nd and the 3rd, I couldn't really figure anything clever for that. But remember, you know from this chart over here that if you're not dealing with the E or F or A or B or C, it's always every other one is a note without a sharp or a flat. So if you can remember that you've got the B string, then what do you have here? You've got the same thing that you have down here. You've got C, space over, D, space over, E, and what comes after E? What did we talk about? After an E, you always have an F because there's no sharp or flat. So look what we've just accomplished now. No, and then, okay, F, and then you know that after F, what do you have over here? You got the, it's not between the E and the F, and it's not between the B and the C, so it's your spacing. 2 again, F, and what comes after F? G. So, yeah, this is not science, but it's an easy way to picture all this stuff in your brain so that you can start to memorize this crap. All right, now one last thing. Remember we had this F gab over here? Remember F space G space A space B? Well, you don't have an F over here, you got a G. So what do you have? You got your gab, your G, and then your A, and then your B. And then remember, what always comes after B? A C. How hard was that? And look it up over here. You got your C just like over here. It's your space again. C, D, E. And what the hell comes after E? You've got your F if you're going into the 10th fret. So I know this is kind of lame. It's not amazing, but this is a really simple way that I'm thinking of the fretboard now. Strictly going with F gab. And once I've got that F gab, I can go G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. I know the 3rd, 5th, and 7th fret for 3 strings. Whoa. G, A, B. It's the same as the G, A, B down here. So I know it for 4 strings now. And so the problem I'm having is just trying to work with the 2nd and 3rd, the B and the G string, trying to remember it, trying to find an easy way to remember this stuff. But this is helping me a lot. I'm going to shut up in a minute. And remember, like I said, the 5th fret, all solid letters, A, D, G, C, E, A. There's no sharps or flats. All right, let me fill this out so I'll just make the chart complete. But you've got the idea. You got to learn these notes, and then you can start doing your sharps and your flats which won't be that hard to figure out. All right, I'm trying to find a marker over here. So I'll just complete this thing. I don't like using flats. I get all really confused. But this would be F sharp, or if you went backwards, it would be G flat. And I don't like doing the flats. Then you've got G, so it would be G sharp or A flat. It would be A sharp. Okay, and you can do the same thing down here because the first string is the same as the 6. F sharp, G sharp. Whoa, not writing too good over there. Almost done. The video's almost done. Make sure that you watch all my other cool videos because they're just amazing. Leave lots of good comments. Oh, did I do that right? C sharp. Oops, I guess I didn't want to do that, but that's the C sharp. Okay, and after C, what comes after C? Another C sharp. D sharp. E, F. Remember, there is never a sharp or a flat between E and F. There's a sharp after F. Remember this? So if you don't remember this stuff, look at this a little bit. Try to study that. This would be G sharp if we're going to put the G sharp in there. Oh, we got another one. We got another G sharp over here. A. What comes after A? A sharp. There's never a sharp or a flat between B or C. C sharp. D sharp. A. We got it over here. A sharp. G sharp. See, it's pretty easy to fill this out afterwards, but don't start memorizing the sharps and the flats. Don't start doing that. As long as you can learn the 30 things, if you can picture that in your mind, then you'll start to slowly memorize this thing, and it will all make sense to you. What comes after A sharp, you can look down here if you can't remember. You got your B. And then we know that after B, you always have your C. F, what comes after F? F sharp. And after F, you want to look at your F sharp, if you want to look at this thing down at the bottom, if you can't remember. But the main point of this video is chart this stuff out. Do it on a sheet of paper. F gab, she's gabbing. F G A B. And you can remember the C because you know that C's always after that. So you've already got your first string, or your 6th string. F gab C. That takes you to the 8th fret. Same over here. F gab C. So you've done 2 strings, 33% of your memorizing up to the 8th or 9th fret. And then remember the pattern over here. Alphabetical. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Very simple to remember. So now you've got 6th string, 5th string, 4th string, and 1st string. You've memorized 66%. 2/3 of what you need to memorize, you've memorized. And it's not that hard after that. So good luck with the memorizing, good luck with the learning, and stick with it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video.